Okay, I'm good.
Awesome.
Are you good?
Oh, I'm good. Oh, I'm real good.
It's the Pup Fresh Podcast, Pup Fresh Podcast, Pup Fresh Podcast!
Welcome to the Pup Fresh Podcast. My name is Dan. I'm the host of the Pup Fresh Podcast. I have an interview with Bo Boken on this week's episode. Bo sings in the band Blessthefall. He's married to the pop sensation Lights. He is a father. He's an all-around great guy, a straight edge like myself, big basketball fan, hockey fan, and Blessthefall is Pup Fresh's 2013 Artist of the Year. I still can't believe we ran an Artist of the Year feature on Pup Fresh, because now I feel arrogant if I'm to do like a top 10 list. Just to think that like I'm prestigious enough to like bestow upon you my top 10 of anything, which I guess I'm kind of contradicting with the fact that I have a podcast. But if you go back in time and you look, we've had two Artists of the Years, one being Blessthefall, the other one being Paradise Fears. And I mean, that's like a pretty prestigious title to hold. We've only had two ever, and Bo and his band Blessthefall happened to be one of them. I talked to Bo on the phone while he was on Warped Tour. Blessthefall is on Warped Tour all summer long playing the Shark stage, so you should all be sure to go check them out if you have the chance. I'm not a fan of real heavy music myself, but I can tell you from experience, I've seen Blessthefall many times. They always put on an amazing live show. Bo has a ton of energy, knows how to control a crowd, and it's just a good guy. Like, honestly, this dude is like cool. And I feel kind of awesome that he took the time to talk to me, because while I was doing a little bit of podcast preparation, interview prep, if you want to call it that, I was looking up old interviews that he did, and he really hasn't done many interviews lately. So I feel kind of cool that he gave me the time of day, especially since I haven't talked to the guy in so long. So it was cool to catch up. We talk about like basketball and shit like that, because that's what we're into. I hope that you all like that. I hope you like last week's episode too, where I had my friend John from Alter the Press come on in sort of a guest host role, where he also interviewed Sierra from Versa. It was cool to get all that information from Sierra about Versa's past and future, and it's just cool to kind of look into what happens when a band goes like silent. I know that there are a couple artists out there right now that I want to talk to on the podcast just to kind of see what the hell happened to them. One of them is Shant from Cute Is What We Aim For, because Cute Is What We Aim For kind of dropped off the map. But I really want to do this whole, like, I don't know, because the reception was so good with the Versus stuff, and it's interesting. It's an interesting story. I don't know. It sounds like a good idea. But until then, I guess I'm just going to interview whoever wants to be on the show with me. But before the interview with Bo, I think that I'm going to talk about maybe a couple music-related things if I can. I feel like I should add something besides an interview into the podcast to make it a formal podcast, even though I know most of you just listen for the interview. But I'm still, I don't know, I got myself to brand right, as pretentious as it seems. I really do feel uncomfortable with the fact that, like, I'm out here talking and acting like I'm somebody worth listening to, but I guess that's kind of the goal with this whole thing, so I'm gonna give it a shot. I guess I could talk about, I'll save the Austin Jones discussion for right before the interview, because that guy, he came out with maybe I could just get into it right now. Austin Jones, the guy that was asking the 13-year-olds to twerk, got busted. He was on Warped. Now he got kicked off of Warped. It was a whole thing. His actions actually sparked me into this podcast game, because what he did kind of pissed me off so badly that I thought it'd be a good idea to start a podcast, and it went over well, and here we are almost 2 months later, and so thanks, Austin Jones, for doing that. But the video itself, I'm kind of mixed about it. I'm going to be honest with you. Well, it's cool that he kind of owned up and admitted to what he did, and it's great that he was able to clarify that there was never any physical contact or naked photo exchanges. It was strictly twerking, which, when you're saying, don't worry, guys, it was only videos of 13-year-old girls twerking their asses, like, it's, I mean, a little bit of a sigh of relief, but it's still messed up. And the video was titled, like, Tell All, like his side of the story or whatever, which when I watched it, it was like 16 minutes long, and that's like way too long to listen to Austin Jones talk, first of all. Second of all, it didn't really get into any details surrounding the story at all. It just seemed to shift the attention away from the fact that he did something totally creepy and to the fact that he's struggling with depression, which is a terrible thing. And I'm not going to, say the guy's lying about having depression or dealing with it in the past. He talked about self-harm, which is a terrible thing, but it just didn't necessarily add up to me. He said that he was asking for these videos from these girls because he craved attention, and then he went on to say that he wanted to come clean, but some of his industry friends, I did air quotes into my mic, but yeah, air quotes, industry friends told him it would be like a bad career move if he were to, admit to what he was doing, and then he eventually got caught. My question there is like, if you were going to come clean, why did you keep getting these videos? Because those videos and like texts were pretty recent up until like right when he got caught. So if at any point he had like doubt or remorse or something, he would have stopped. Then he talked about how as soon as he was getting all these hateful comments and things like that, death threats, whatever, he kind of went nuts and had to be checked into a mental hospital, which that's not a good thing for anybody. And we really shouldn't be like, I guess I'm partially to blame for some of the things I said. And, looking back at it, I should have handled it completely differently, but I was bothered and it pissed me off. But, we shouldn't be so aggressive. I don't know, but at the same time, what he did is very, very unforgivable. But the guy ended up in a mental hospital, which, again, it's just shifting the blame away from what actually happened. It went from, hey, this is what I did, I'm owning up to it, to, yeah, but at the same time, I ended up in a mental hospital because my family was worried because I read every single mean tweet that everybody said about me, and it made me sad. We're not really getting to any tell-all details. It was just him pretty much trying to get sympathy, or that's how it came across. I'm not saying that I know what his intentions were. I'm just saying how I think that they came across. And it just seemed like he wanted everybody to feel bad for him. He talked about his past, how something like his dad may have passed away when he was younger, his house burned down, all of these things. Yeah, those are contributing factors to depression, but is depression a contributing factor to you asking 13-year-old girls to twerk in like private text conversations? I don't know. I don't think that is like the case in most situations, but then again, I didn't psychoanalyze the guy. I'm not his therapist, whatever. I'm not his manager, whatever. Like whoever told him to come out with that statement. I'm gonna just be real though. I think the statement, it's kind of weak. I feel for anybody that's struggling with like any sort of like mental illness, be it depression, whatever. It's not a good thing. It's very crippling. But dude, like you're talking like you're coming back into the game, and it's almost like, yo, don't. Is that blunt enough? Just don't. Like, you had your chance, and honestly, you kind of just blew it, and you abused your situation, and I don't think that you deserve to have it back. Like, yeah, everybody makes mistakes. Does this single action or multiple, like, counts of you asking for these videos define you as an individual? That's completely up to debate. I think that maybe you could be a better person outside of this whole situation that happened, but the fact remains this situation happened. You are, in a sense, a predator to these girls. You're a potential danger. Maybe you did get the help that you needed, which is great, but you still were there, and it's still just not probably a place that you should go back to. With all the fans, with all the people, with everything going on, it just... your video was pretty much like, yo, feel bad for me. By the way, I'm coming back to YouTube and Twitter. Like, it just apologize. Say that you messed up and that you're done. Like, retire. Like, you had your chance. It's time to go. Like, I know that this is your dream, but when you are chasing your dream and you decide to take a shit all over yourself and your dream, it's just gonna be a shit storm. Like, there's just gonna be poop everywhere. I'm sorry, this is like not a good visual, but it's all that I got right now because I didn't really think this through before I started rambling, and I'm having mouth diarrhea. See, going back to poop. Like, it's just, I don't want to talk about this dude anymore. It's just, I'm going in circles with it. I probably should have thought it out a little bit more before I jumped into it. But yeah, retire, Austin Jones. Just retire before you do any more damage or like before you come out with any more apologies that appear to be insincere, because for all I know, he could have been totally honest in that whole thing, but it just didn't seem like it. But whatever, that was my perception of the whole thing. If you want to tell me yours, tweet at Pup Fresh, or don't, because I won't pay attention. I went to a show a couple of weeks ago. I saw the band Ellis, and they are a Michigan band, and everybody should go check out the band Ellis. Ellis Band MI is their socials everywhere. ELLISBANDMI. They are great. I met their lead singer. Well, I saw them a while ago for the first time, opening for a band, another Michigan band that I loved who broke up. They're called Yours Truly. I saw them open, and I said to Yours Truly singer J-Web, I'm like, dude, how are you going to follow that? This dude is insane. And fast forward like 9 months later, and I'm playing softball with this guy, and I didn't even know who he was. And I'm like telling this dude that he sucks at pitching at softball, and I'm kind of like giving him a hard time because for whatever reason. And then I end up finding out who he was and what he did. He's like, oh yeah, I sing in the band Ellis. And I kind of had one of these moments like, dude, you're so talented, and I was telling you that you suck at softball. Like, that was weird. That was super weird. And then I went to a show, and they were real good. One of the best live performances I've seen from a local band ever, if not the best. Perfect harmonies, totally tight band. Everybody needs to check out Ellis, ELLISBANDMI, Ellis Band MI. I'm serious. Why would I lie to you? I don't like endorsing bands. I don't like enjoying things. I'm total emo 2015 kid over here. Hate everything, hate everyone, but I love Ellis. So if there's a band that you want to, maybe check out, that should be one of the bands. But this week is about Beau from Blessthefall. He's my guest on the show. And do you see that rhyming? I feel like when you say Beau, you have so much potential for accidental rhymes because there's a lot of O noises everywhere. But no, I have Beau from Blessthefall this week. The new album, To Those Left Behind, comes out September 18th on Fearless Records. I haven't heard any of it. I can imagine that if you're a Blessthefall fan, you're going to like it. This band has a knack of just progressing and doing better and better each time they go out there. I had a good series of interviews with Elliot back in the day. If you want to go on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/pupfresh, and check out those. They're called the Elliot Interview. The second one that I did with Elliot was almost kind of like, if I post the whole thing, it would be like a podcast, honestly. And Elliot, maybe I should hit up Elliot and see if he wants to be on the show. That'd be good because we had fun back in the day. But tweet who you want to be on the show. If you are an artist or something and you maybe want to be featured, maybe I'll play one of your songs during it or something. Send us a tweet at PupFresh or email us info@pupfresh.com. Here is the interview with Bo Boken of Blessthefall.
Pup Fresh Podcast!
Right now, I got Bo from Blessthefall on the phone. What's going on, Bo?
Yeah, nothing much, man. Just on Warped Tour, had some dinner, got off stage, and I'm just decompressing in my bunk. I got the air conditioning blasting on me. That great.
That sounds, good. I hate the Warped Tour interview. I'm not gonna lie to you, where it's like, you know what I mean? Like, hey man, how's Warped going? It's good. Yo man, it's good. We're super hot, but we're stoked. It's just, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that you're having a great time on Warped Tour. Are you doing main stage again?
Yeah, we're doing they call it the Shark Stage, and it's pretty sick. Like, it's actually pretty crazy because I don't know. I think I sort of always underestimate our band, where I just, I don't have any sort of like ego, I guess you could say. And I'm just kind of like, well, I hope people come watch us play. So the first 5, 6 shows, however many it's been, have been pretty insane. Like, Dallas was like one of the biggest crowds that we ever played in front of, and it was just cool to see that, whether people knew us or not, they're giving us a chance, and it's awesome, especially for a band like ours that we've been around for X amount of years, however long it's been now. and we could still do it. And we could still draw like new kids to come out and watch it, and who are interested and stoked, and all the old fans still come out. So it's been rad.
It sounds like it, and I feel like I can't talk. I feel like I'll underestimate you guys as well, because I remember seeing some Warped crowds, and you guys you kill it, and you definitely draw like crazy on Warped, especially.
Thanks,
and it's just, I mean, I don't know,
yeah.
man. You guys,
Yeah,
I think
cool.
I think of Warped, and I'm like, you see the main stages, and you're like, all right, that's gonna be huge, but then you actually see somebody playing it, and it's unreal. I don't know. What's the shark stage business about? What's that? Is that just a name?
Yeah, it's just a name, and they're just kind of like
what kind of name are they doing? A shark and a unicorn? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think it's more like the whole idea of the work, like all the artwork and stuff for the flyers and posters and things like that. It's like kind of like a zoo. It's like this crazy zoo, because it is sort of like a zoo. Like Warped Tour is just like sort of just crazy animals running around everywhere, and like they all escape. So it's kind of cool, and they just use that whole, they're just playing off that.
That's a gimmick. That's a cool gimmick though, because the shark stage. That'll stick. That'll stick.
I got a shark tattoo, so thank God I'm on the shark stage.
Do you now? Is it that you had to write that into your contract that you had to be on that stage then?
Yeah.
Lot of negotiation. Well, hey man, congratulations on the second pick in the draft for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Thank you.
You know what? I'm not a Lakers fan, but it's cool that they're going to start the rebuilding process, and I'm happy for your team. I'm a big basketball fan, and I just figured, who else am I going to talk basketball with?
There's only a couple people that, when I've done interviews, actually maybe one other one who is actually, we talked about basketball like most of the time, but I'm kind of through the roof, because right now I think the Lakers have a huge chance to either sort of build from this very, very young core of really good players that we have all of a sudden, and or make some big trades for some really big names that are out there right now. So I think we have a lot of leverage in the league right now, and I'm super excited to see what happens. I mean, even if we don't make the playoffs again, which I think that'll be different next year, but Kobe's last year, so I'm just gonna kind of enjoy the season and see where it goes, and hopefully we have some victories here and there.
I read a rumor today that Marc Gasol has no interest in going to the Lakers. And you know what? Yeah. My response to that is like, why do you have no interest in going to the biggest name in basketball? You fucking idiot.
You have like the slightest bit of interest,
right? Like
what I mean?
Like I have no interest. That's like you saying like I have no interest in playing Warped Tour this summer. Like, what are you doing, Marc Gasol? How many rings do you have, jabroni? Like, I don't know.
Exactly. I know it's pretty sad, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see what we do. I think there's a few big dudes like Greg Monroe that plays for the Pistons. He's a free agent.
I think he'd be a good Laker. Because I'm a Pistons guy myself. So
yeah.
So it's like I could see Greg coming over, and he's real serviceable, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you more of a hockey
seems like
guy?
A good big man.
He is. Are you more of a hockey guy though than a basketball guy?
You know what? I would say I'm pretty equal, honestly. Like it's kind of hard. It's crazy to say, but because they're two very different sports, very different worlds, different styles, different kind of almost different kind of work ethic in a way. Like people, they just carry themselves in it. But I love both sports just as much. It seems like I love playing both sports. I love watching both sports just as much. And I might say I'm more of a Lakers fanatic than I am a Kings fan. I do love the Kings, don't get me wrong, but I'm a little bit more obsessed with the Lakers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more of an absolutely unattainable goal to play for the Lakers to play professional basketball, whereas I got pretty high up playing hockey kind of thing. So it was more of a realistic thing. You know what I'm saying? Where
right.
They're not as untouchable as basketball, Kobe and those dudes, the Lakers, they're untouchables. You know what I mean? I could never do that. You know what
that's
I'm saying?
that's how I feel when I meeting certain band members, or because I do the interviewing thing, and so I'm introduced to a lot of the bigger names in music or whatever, or at least in our scene. But there are certain artists that I don't want to talk to, because then that's attainable, that's there, and it ruins it for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I feel you.
But gun to your head, hockey or basketball, you got to pick.
Oh man, are you kidding me?
No, I'm not, because I need to know what you're all about.
Are we talking like? Okay,
I'm talking all around.
Like,
all around.
Yeah. Do you mean like I couldn't play either sport, or I couldn't watch either sport, or just everything?
Well, I mean,
like,
I'm not diving into hypotheticals. If that's what you're saying, I'm just asking straight up your preference. You have to pick a preference.
Oh man, I would have to just say hockey.
Yeah. Well, you're good at it. You're good at it.
Because that's the thing. I'm like better at hockey, and like I would hate to be able to not watch or play hockey ever. So it's yeah.
I also feel like you got to pick hockey because between the two, it's the only sport that you could probably beat me at, because I would take you to school. My favorite thing to do is
fair enough.
My favorite thing to do is to talk trash at people and pretend like I'm a real good basketball player, but I'm really not one.
That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, I like the trash talking aspect of basketball myself.
Yeah, I like it.
So the new album that you recorded, To Those Left Behind, drops on September 18th. That's exciting, man. Is it your favorite one yet? I'm assuming it is, because you're always building off the last one and you're making something completely better and progressing, right? Yeah, exactly. And you know what? It's funny because, you know, with every record I get super nervous and anxious and doubtful of, you know, of our ability, you know, my abilities. You know, I'm like, well, how am I going to make this better? So, I know, I think it really is a step up. I think that the dudes like Eric and Elliot, writing-wise, really wrote some awesome shit to work with in the first place. And so, it is darker. It doesn't really have any of those, like, you know, like the other records have had kind of like a pop song, like, with it, just to, like, throw in there. And it doesn't really have that. It's got, like, you know, it's got a darker vibe, and it's got kind of a, you know, more of a story, more of a consistent story throughout the whole thing. You know, I don't want to say it's a concept album per se, but it definitely has a general theme that goes through the whole record. And also, we worked with a couple of writers, like co-writers with the book, like for melodies and stuff. We were with Steve Aiello, who's in 30 Seconds to Mars, and Drew Folk, and we actually wrote some songs with them, and then wrote songs with Eric Ron, and it was really cool. It's something we've never done as a band before, and like the music was all done, but we wanted to get outside opinion as far as melodies go and lyrics and stuff, things like that. So it was really cool to get somebody else to come in and listen to our ideas and mold them, shape them, and create newer, better ideas off that. So it's like having another member of the band, and we've never done that, so I think that's going to make a huge difference in the melody department. So were you good at the co-writing thing? Because like you said, it's something completely different. I would imagine myself showing up to the co-writing session not knowing what to do. Or was it like that for you?
Yeah,
like
it totally was. Like, we went in there and we're kind of like, well, and we went in with an open mind, you know, just to kind of go, all right, well, let's not shoot people's ideas down right away. Let's be open with it, and let's kind of just go with the flow. And if it sucks, then we don't ever have to do it again. Do you like sit in a drum circle or something? Like, what is the context of the writing session like? Yeah, almost. No, but like you go in a room and you're like, well, you're in you know, just like an engineer's room where you would record your record or whatever else, and we showed them the songs that we have. And, like, we showed it, like, for instance, we showed Eric Ron, like, you know, one of our songs, and he goes, this one's really fucking sick. And we show him, like, 3 or 4 songs, and he's like, dude, like, can we jam on this one? You know, like, yeah, cool, here's my idea for this. Here are my lyrics. And he goes, cool, here's my idea. You know, right off the bat, he'll listen. And our Stevie will listen, whoever, you know, what the session was with, and we'll go, okay, I got this melody. What do you think? I'm like, rad, but I would do this kind of, you know what I mean? Like, and so it's just, and you have to have an open mind. You have to be, it's not for everyone, you know what I mean?
Right.
And there's some pop artists that go in and like, literally just pay people to write the songs for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, but like, that's not what you're doing.
Yeah, like I didn't want it to be that, you know, because, you know, we have a lot of artistic integrity. You know, we've written everything ourselves. You know, and I've written all my melodies and everything else, you know, for myself up until this point, to where I was like, okay, I'll let somebody in on my, like, personal life and like my ideas. You know what I mean? So it was hard in that aspect to allow someone into your mind and to share it and really get real personal with somebody. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And be like, okay, here's my lyrics. You know, like, and for them to really understand what you're trying to say and help you out and help you tell these stories and things like that. So it was really cool, man. Like I thought it was awesome, and I think that once you kind of let your guard down, you're open to unlimited possibilities, for your music. So I thought it was really cool. It was really rad doing it, and I think the song sounds unreal. Like if they didn't come out good, we wouldn't put it on record. So I was very, very pleased.
When is the first single dropping?
I think next week. That's the kind of like we're shooting for that. We've been playing the new single on World Tour, and it's been going over really well. But it's always weird just playing a song no one's ever heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like no one can sing it. No one can really like.
I'm that one dude in the crowd that like doesn't cheer when they ask, "Can we play a new song?" Because I what if you don't like it? You're not gonna boo.
Yeah.
But I'm imagining no, everybody likes it. I heard it. Watched some warped videos of it. You guys, the stream or whatever, it was good. You guys are, you know what I mean? It's a little bit like you were saying earlier, a little bit darker, a little bit, for my liking. But this is the direction that you guys are going in, and Hollow Bodies was obviously like the step in that direction. So
sure.
You know what I mean? It's just you guys are definitely moving on and doing your thing and killing it, and it's a good thing.
Man.
To go back to the sound of the record, I figured that I would put one Elliot joke in this. Just because I thought of it when you said that the album is darker immediately after you said that he was writing. Do you think the album would be a little less dark if Elliot was not forever alone? There, I did it. I have the joke in.
No, that is what helps.
I just had to throw that in there because with your history and the whole thing, it just you have to bring it up, don't you? You have to.
It's a concept album about Elliot being alone all the time. So there it is. It's out there.
There it is.
Yeah.
But you like the pop music and everything, don't you?
Oh, I love pop, man. I'm a huge pop fan, and you know what? There's a lot of in my melodies. There's a lot of pop sensibility,
right?
And there's when I say dark, I mean like almost like My Chemical Romance type. You know what I mean? Where it's like they're writing. There are a couple like pop songs, but they're not like it doesn't sound like fucking Katy Perry. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like we have a few of those songs that are like dark, but they definitely have a universal vibe to them where like anyone can really like relate and anyone can like really feel what we're doing with it.
Yeah. And so is it going to be like it's like heavier too, I'm imagining?
Yeah, there's heavy parts, but there's obviously like the Blessthefall sound in there, over a couple songs, but I think we're just a lot more creative with everything, and we didn't really settle for any kind of we didn't want to do any sort of generic like that's
you don't want to be putting any kind of boxes or anything like that either. You want to
exactly.
You're your own thing. Like, you're your own thing. I don't know.
We really want someone to hear it and go, well, I don't know. Okay, well, like sounds like metal, but it doesn't really like this song could be on like a like on a My Chemical Romance record, and this song could be like on a Paramore record or something. So we just really wanted to like just get super creative with it, and I think we made something really special.
I'm going to have to take your word for it. The album, again, comes out September 18th. Do you have any guest features or anything like that on this album?
So, you have to find out.
Really? You can't give me anything. You can't? Ugh. All right. Oh, man. I was thinking, I was hoping to come in here and pull something out of you. I need to work on my ability of doing that.
You'll figure it out.
Really?
You gotta come at it with like Starbucks when we're here like together, and I'll be like, all right, what do you want to know?
Yeah, I can. I'll send you a gift card. No. So you guys are the band. You won a bowling championship, or you were in a bowling championship. I saw it. I was going on your Twitter. Are you just good bowlers? What are you? Do you do every sport? Basketball, hockey, bowling? What's the deal?
Yeah, like we're super competitive. So even as a band, so we were like, you know what, we're gonna fucking win this whole thing. And we went in there like super like aggro with it, and we just smashed everybody, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
It felt good.
Do you practice when you're not on Warped Tour for this?
No. It was like the first time I'd bowled in like 2 years.
What do you bowl? What do you normally bowl?
Well, I bowled a 195. That was my high score.
Jeez, man, like I'll bowl like a 95 and think that I did a good job. I'll pat myself on the back for bowling a 73. I'll say, damn, I knocked over 73 pins. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like kind of got in the zone. It was kind of weird. It was like, it was like super focused, and we were all like, everyone was just like, we're winning this thing. There's no way anyone's taking this from us. So I don't know. Like, it's kind of cool because the whole band gets super into it. Like, we all get super competitive. So it was fun.
Yeah. So when you were playing hockey when you were younger, how far up did you actually get in it?
I played my last couple of years. I played midget AAA, and we went to nationals twice.
Mm-hmm.
And midget AAA is the highest you can really get for that age group, and it was awesome. It was super super competitive. We traveled everywhere, and I thought I was going to get a scholarship to college or like go pro and things like that. But stars didn't line up, and music sort of kind of took precedence in my life. I would say, like, going to shows. It was more of the thing. Like, I just go to shows every week, and my mom was like, "You have band posters on your wall. You're gonna have like hockey player posters. It seems like you think that you're more into this." I'm like, "Well, yeah, I think I am." So it took a few years to figure out music was actually my passion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it wasn't like any kind of like injury, like you're like Emilio Estevez and Mighty Ducks, and somebody takes a cheap shot. Yeah, well, before the DUI, somebody took a cheap shot at him, which is why he was never able to go pro. That wasn't you?
That's right. No. Sadly, no. Not as cool.
That's the story that I would tell if it were me and I was playing. I was about to go pro. I was about to go pro, but then some asshole
like
chopped my knee.
This guy, this little dude named Doc Hughes. He took my knee out. The guy's in the pros now. Whatever. Like I had this like.
Yeah, but now all you gotta do is outcoach him with a bunch of kids because of your.
A bunch of like misfits.
Yeah,
misfit kid.
Yeah, because of your community service for your DUI, which.
I want to go back and watch Mighty Ducks so bad.
I think that frequently. That's usually what's on my mind is Emilio Estevez. His performance in Mighty Ducks. His greatest performance.
Awesome.
So you're straight edge, aren't you?
Yeah.
Dude, and how old are we now? You're an adult. You're an adult. You have a child. You have a family. You're still straight edge. Is very rare. I myself, I am a straight edge as well. What was the reason that happened to you? Because for me, I think I was just born this way. Were you just what was it for you?
Yeah, I was sort of like, I was sort of the same way, like, I didn't want to drink. I didn't want to, do anything like that. And, I couldn't understand what the big deal was when people were like smoking out and getting wasted and things like that. And, and then one day I found out there's this thing called straight edge. I'm like, wait, that's what I am. You know what I mean? Like,
mm-hmm.
I don't do any of that stuff. And I love the music and the movement and everything else. So it really like, connected with me. And I just sort of was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm straight. Like, that's rad. I have like this label that I can like use instead of just saying, no, I don't drink, and sometimes people don't understand like why you just don't do something. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I just don't see anything positive coming out of it. And that being said, like, my wife drinks. Big deal. Like, she's not like she's like driving drunk around. You know what I mean? Like, and I have a lot of friends that do things like that. So it was more of a thing for me. And I don't judge people for doing it. I don't want to like push it on anyone. And when people ask about it, or we got to talk about it, things like that. And I think it's a very positive thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like when people take it and make it a negative thing where they're like, hate other people because they're not straight edge and things like that. And it's just like, it's just so stupid. It gives everyone a bad name. But, yeah. So it's just part of my lifestyle at this point. I'm just sort of running with it.
Yeah, that's, an admirable thing, because I remember when I was a teenager and I was claiming Edge, and, people would be like, well, you're not Edge until you're 21. And I'm like, well, damn it, I'll show you. And so now I'm 22.
Yeah.
But it's just rare. Like, as you get old, I've noticed that, like, people will eventually break or whatever. So it's cool that you, like, stick to your values and things like that. And, it's definitely something that I look up to you, and I'm like, damn, that's, that's one dude that I can relate to, and that's, it's rare.
That's awesome. Yeah, I want to be kind of a role model, and I'd rather lead by example than by preaching about it.
Right. And you're friends with CJ Wilson, who also is straight edge, right?
Yeah. And he's awesome.
And how do you meet a professional baseball player?
Well, I was friends with him. His brother was in my old band, and we've been friends since before he was a professional baseball player. So, yeah.
That's cool, though. I mean, that's like, you get to watch him do his thing, and I don't know. Do you get to go to all the games and hang out in the clubhouse and do all that cool stuff? Yeah,
we've gone to games, and we've had parties in his backyard and stuff, and had some of the other players come and hang out and things like that. And it's just awesome seeing him succeed and do well, because he's just a great human being, and he's also a role model as well. And I think he takes on that challenge, because it is a task when someone's looking up to you, because it's like, well, if you fuck up, everyone is disappointed. You let them down and things like that. So he's really taking on that challenge, and I try to do, I try to try to emulate him in a way, you know what I mean?
Right. Your favorite band is Blink-182 ever, right?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I was doing my research. What are your opinions on the Matt Skiba kind of in the band, kind of not in the band? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I don't really back it. I probably wouldn't go watch him play with Matt Skiba.
Really?
That's my opinion. Yeah.
See, here's my thing is I'm an Alkaline Trio fan, and I was never into Blink, so now I feel like this is an opportunity for me to get. Yeah, isn't that? See, I'm one of those. It's odd. Yeah, but either way.
Good for Blink.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe they could have recruited you to go there, and I don't know.
I'm saying, man, I'm available. I got some time on my hands.
Oh man. But everything's going good for you, man. I see you on all the social media sites. You seem like you're living life, loving life, being happy. You got the family, everything like that. Is it the family? That whole thing just change you, make you a better person? Or I'm not saying you weren't a good person before, but how families enhance you, so to speak.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it totally did. It kind of gave me a whole new purpose for what I'm doing. All of a sudden, getting married, was one step, and then having a daughter is like all of a sudden, I'm living for these two people, and to support them and to make sure that we have, comfortable lives and things like that. And so it's a whole new purpose, going up on stage like I'm doing it for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you worry a little bit more now? Like, are you going to take a step back with how crazy you go and things like that? Because you're like, got a family now. Can't be opening up the pit too much.
Okay, guys, open the pit, but just a little bit. Be careful. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, I'm calming down a little bit as far as, I'm not, hanging from, 30-foot rafters or anything like that. But, the show is still the show. But, I definitely take a few more precautions before, and think about things before I do them.
Yeah. But that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah, totally.
What new bands are you looking at on Warped Tour? Who are you checking out?
Well, it's funny because my buddy manages a band called Paris, and he told me about them a year and a half ago, and I was like, dude, this band is insane, man. Blah blah blah. I'm fast forward now, and it's they seem like they've just garnished this crazy fan base, and they're just such talented kids, and then we've been hanging out with them a bunch, and they're just super down to earth, awesome dudes. So that's kind of a newer band that I'm super hyped on, and I'm super stoked to see succeed.
And I saw you hanging out at some kind of store with Lynn. You and Eric were. What were you rascals getting into?
Well, we were shopping for bikes because me and Lindsay started a bike gang. And
Oh,
there's
really?
only 3 of us right now. But we were gonna get tattoos last night, but we decided to wait a couple more days. But yeah, it's called the Lone Ranger Bike Squad, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We just ride around and we're badasses, and we just pretty much owned, the whole tour, and everyone kind of has, like, when we come through, everyone kind of gets scared and runs into their buses and vans and bandwagons, and it's hard. It's hard kind of being like the bosses of the tour, but
Right. It's a lifestyle. You gotta.
It's a lifestyle, and I didn't choose this lifestyle. It chose me.
Right. What's the initiation process like for that gang?
Well, you know what? It's kind of like you have to. It was me and Lindsay we started, and we're like, all right, well, my friend Jade wants to be in it, and we're like, well, you're gonna have to do something badass. So he stole his drummer's bike, and so we're like, all right, you can be in it. So you have to kind of do something badass to be in the gang. You know what I mean? In the squad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I still want to talk about it so much. I don't want to give much away.
Right, and especially because I'm imagining you guys are up to illegal crimes, and any authorities listening to this, I feel as though now I'm an accessory.
You're accessory to murder.
To the stealing of the bikes and the whole thing that you guys are doing, scaring people off in a tent. It just you guys are bad news, man. I'm gonna stay clear of you. If I'm a Warped Tour, I know who to stay clear of right away.
You're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Just don't come around here.
I'm picturing you in like your booty shorts and your Batman like mask on, like on Warped, just riding around on a little bike. It's pretty scary, man.
I'm telling you, man, I'm not messing around.
Oh, jeez. If I were to make a recommendation to you on Warped Tour, I'd go to the Acoustic Basement and I would check out American Opera. He's acoustic. He's a really good guy. I don't know. I'm just inserting that. It's a little bit different.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, cool.
I feel like nobody ever tells you what to do. They're always like, who should I check out? No. Let me tell you, this guy. I don't know. You guys would get along.
Okay, I'll do it. I love new music.
See, of course you do. Of course you do. To bring up, just because enough time has passed and everything like that. So long ago, when you remember when you were leaking Fall Out Boy's announcement through us, and you got me in quite a bit of trouble with all the social media people. And what was all that shit when everybody was like giving some other dude credit for leaking it? But dog, that was us all along. Don't you recall?
I know, dude.
What was that? What was that about?
It's all right. You know what? I'm famous enough, man. I don't need any more fame. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, let that dude take the credit. We're good,
I need the fame. That's who needs it.
Yeah, it's true.
I was talking about this so long ago. You were like first on the scene with all that stuff. That was pretty ballsy of you there, Bo. And now, did you get in trouble from like anybody because of that? Any of that? Like,
oh no, I mean nothing really came of it. I mean, I'm sure the dudes are bummed on me, but it is what it is, man.
But like your label doesn't say to you, "Hey, man, it might not be a good idea to get on Fall Out Boy's bad side."
No, they don't care.
The label's letting you talk to me in a phone interview. Obviously, they don't really care.
Yeah.
But either way, no, those were some old times there, and I really appreciate you being friendly to Pup Fresh in the past.
Yeah, of course.
You're one of like the first artists that ever was like admitted that you visited Pup Fresh on occasion, which for whatever reason you did that, and I'm not complaining. It's just like I was saying earlier, you have balls, But the new
thinking outside the box, and I don't like you gotta be like I remember finding the website and being like, this is rad, dude. Like this is cool. It's got different genres of music. It's not like some elitist thing where like you go to such and such website and it's got all these elitist kids talking shit on your van if you're not like cool, or like this super metal site where you're not heavy enough for it. So it's just kind of like it's kind of just everything in between, and everyone it's just way to get out music news, and everyone needs that, you know?
Yeah, we're definitely the furthest thing from elitist. You've met me before, so. But yeah, the new album, right. To Those Left Behind, the concept album about how alone Elliot is, comes out. That's gonna be the quote on the on the packaging. You know, it's not gonna say featuring hit single whatever. It's gonna say the concept album about how forever alone Elliot is.
It's so good.
And who was it that you said is gonna be featured on it again?
Well, we had Madonna on it, but she's canceled, so we have somebody else.
Oh man, we'll find out sooner than later. Bo, it was a pleasure, as it always is. Is there anything that you would care to add?
Just, I always kind of sort of sign off on these things of saying, huge thanks to all of our fans. And if you're just listening into this or just finding out about us, thank you so much. And just, keep coming out to shows, keep supporting, and it means a lot. And you guys keep us alive. So thank you.
So that's all we got for you, the interview with Bo Boken. I hope that you liked it. I had a good time talking to him. It's a little bit weird when you're on the bus on Warped Tour if the sound quality at any point was a little bit bad. I apologize in advance, but, we made it work, and I really appreciate Bo taking the time out of his busy day. When you're on Warped Tour, you're busy, you're hot, you're sweaty, you're exhausted all the time, and he took the time to crawl into his bunk, talk to Pup Fresh, even though we haven't really talked much in the past year or so, but yeah, it was good. That's the show this week. If you want to listen to more episodes, download the Pup Fresh Podcast on your podcast app on any device. Do you got an Android? Do you got iPhone? Do you got a computer? Whatever you got, download the Pup Fresh Podcast. Subscribe to it. Why not? Or if you just want to look at it on YouTube, youtube.com/PupFresh. It's on SoundCloud too. You're not going to listen to it there. Tell your friends about it. Honestly, I want to keep this thing growing. I want to keep being excited about it. I like doing these podcasts. I just want everybody else to like them too. Let me know what you want me to change about them. Let me know what you want me to tweak. Let me know how much you love me, or if you don't. Tweet at Pup Fresh. It's the best way to communicate, because I will occasionally lurk all of our tweets, even if they're hateful. Every single negative tweet, every single mean tweet, every death threat, everything. That's my Austin Jones impression right there, everybody. Go back and watch his 16-minute video where he tries to justify asking 13-year-olds to twerk. That's on Pup Fresh. I talked about it a lot earlier on in the episode. I'm rambling at this point. I already plugged all my shit. Enjoy the rest of your day. Yes, this podcast is over.
It's the Pup Fresh Podcast, Pup Fresh Podcast, Pup Fresh Podcast.